trigger happy and I give less than a fuck. Love me or hate me, I'ma show enough, rip shit up. It's Mr. Nothing, nice on a mic stand. Mic in the left and the zest in my right hand. I took a puff, had enough now, hold up. If that was Indo, niggas getting rolled up.
What's good, folks? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to cover Jeffree Star's debut project, Plastic Surgery Slumber Party. So basically, Jeffree Star, initially I thought that his Cupcakes Taste Like Violence project was the breakout project of Jeffree Star, but he had actually had quite a large following on internet and early social media like websites like MySpace and stuff as far back as 2007. So he really had been around for quite some time. I didn't realize that he was a part of like the mid 2000s, like apparently he was. That's kind of the concept, one of the initial kind of social media celebrities of like early kind of influencer type stuff. I reviewed Cupcakes Taste Like Violence several years ago, but that was an album that actually, or an EP that had a CD for it, big Hot Topic staple, that type stuff, and it led to the sequel album, which was called Beauty Killer, which I'm going to eventually review. But those two projects were pretty large, and got Jeffree Star like his pre what was about to happen with folks with getting kind of associated with Akon and Lady Gaga and Nicki Minaj and folks like them, and essentially being seen as basically like the next big thing in electronic music. And I basically would have thought that he would have been like the male and gay version of Lady Gaga. I definitely would have said the way that Lady Gaga was doing stuff with like the Fame Monster back in 2008 and 2009, I would have said that more than likely Jeffree Star would have done that for the LGBTQ community probably throughout like 2008 to like at least several years more if it had happened. But an additional fact about Jeffree Star is he kind of left. He was doing music up to the early 2010s, but about 2013 or so he was on like affiliated with Akon's label, and then he just abruptly left. And there hasn't been like too many scenarios as to why he quit, just the fact that he was not happy on Akon's label. But this is like back when he was still inspired by music, and this is really when he was like a pro at doing electronic music, and that's pretty good to say when this is his debut project. Essentially he was, didn't have a label, wasn't really on a CD, probably couldn't purchase it in stores. I would like to purchase this project if I could find it, but it definitely is like a nice version of like the stuff that the Millionaires and Blood on the Dance Floor make and that type of stuff. And I definitely feel like it has nice moments about it, and it's overall a very lively project. That's definitely something like I've seen more liveliness in Jeffree Star just based upon his debut when he was like 21, 22, something like that, with nothing more than MySpace and like the initial the initial internet to kind of help him promote this stuff than I've seen with records out as far as like 2021 and 2022. There might even be records that come out next year that don't have the same liveliness of this project. So Jeffree Star definitely has that going, and it's just an overall, it's like I think females are really going to take to this sort of stuff. You find like plenty of like general females who just would, it's kind of like how Blood on the Dance Floor was. That was a particular kind of, I mean, this is a very effeminate album, and it is that contributes to just the overt kind of this sultry and kind of spicy kind of attitude throughout most of this project that is just popular and kind of, if you're looking, I mean, and I would say in some fashions, depending upon the females you're hanging out with, this is like a rousing number for that sort of thing. I mean, not, females are different depending upon who you hang out with, but I definitely feel like the charm and the kind of, I feel like the vibes that this project gives has a very flirty and kind of uppity kind of attitude about it that is just a lot more outgoing. I mean, the mood is kept in a high tempo. Now, Jeffree Star may not be as compatible a lyricist as someone like, like Eminem or like Tech Nine or someone like that, but he does have like the concept. I mean, he puts his words together well, and he's an overall fun guy, that's the main charming point about Jeffree Star, is the fact that he has a he knows how to sell his product, and he's a very lively and outgoing individual that you can tell that he's fun outside of music. There are some musicians, they may be skilled at what they do in terms of like lyrics, but they are not, they're kind of squares. And Jeffree Star doesn't appear to me to be a square, and it seems like he has bountiful amounts probably of female friends, and it's just like I said, it's effeminate. It has like, it gets the motors whirring, I would have to say, as far as talking about like a good number to kind of spark things and kind of get things, get a party running and lively and that type of stuff, a Thursday night, Friday night, and etc. So I couldn't distinguish the singles. I feel like this was such an independent project that I think this was just initially testing the waters to kind of see what's going to happen here. Not like Cupcakes Taste Like Violence that actually had a single or two, but at least the initial two songs that you hear, I definitely feel like Plastic Surgery Slumber Party, the title track, had pretty much the best beat on here. Just felt really kind of addictively nice loop on there. Just overall like good concoction of what happened. It's just basically like an electronic song, something you'd hear from standard electronic music circa 2007, 8, and 9, but just a better tinge of it. Just, I mean, there's not many complaints I can make about the production on this song. It's good. It'll get you up and going, and it's nice to dance to and that type stuff. And Eyelash Curlers and Butcher Knives is another one that kind of does that. Eyelash Curlers and Butcher Knives is kind of like another. I feel like those two probably would have been the singles, the title track, and then this song. They both had a very lively and kind of a lot more uppity kind of feel towards it. And Jeffree Star even sings a little bit. He's a little bit more melodic on the Eyelash Curlers song, so it's kind of a taste of what he would do on Cupcakes Taste Like Violence and especially Beauty Killer. So he does have his bars, but I like how they were trying to put him together more as like a singer vocalist, because that definitely meshed well with him in terms of electronic music. I feel like Eyelash Curlers and Butcher Knives had the right vibes, because that was what Jeffree Star would go on to become, where he was just nailing it. He became a really good vocalist later on, and that's kind of a taste of what would have happened there, but he should have done that way more. I at least like what happened with the rest of this project. It's not a bad project, but it's kind of like, it feels like this was really just like something that was just put together with solely him and maybe three or four other people, something like that. Like, he didn't have as large of a team and like an official backdrop and stuff, but it's not bad. I mean, this, if this is just kind of like a MySpace album or like an internet digital only album that you can barely find anymore, I feel like it served its purpose. But a couple other songs like Ice Cream and We Want Cunt are definitely kind of more kind of kind of chillaxing with females type vibes. They're just kind of real kick back and that type stuff. And they might as well be fucking songs. I would almost full blown say that they're just kind of fucking songs. I mean, the concept behind it, you kind of look at like the concept of this trying to say that there are some good moments, and it feels like, I mean, it's kind of straightforward in which way you kind of look after it and which vibe you're kind of going with these Jeffree Star songs, but um it's not all the time that like folks will make this full blown, yeah, we're in the midst of fucking type songs. I mean, it's just kind of off and on, but these just feel a little bit more to the point where you can notice. Songs like Ice Cream, which, basically I want to taste your ice cream, and We Want Cunt, which should speak for itself. They're kind of blatant, but it's just kind of the concept that's original in the sense that there's not too many songs nowadays that have the name cunt, the word cunt in their song. And then on top of that, it's kind of like it's unfiltered. Like, if this had been on an album, I don't think We Want Cunt would have been on there. So it's kind of the public relations factor probably would have detracted like these particular raunchiness that Jeffree Star has in some of these songs. But it's just good to kind of have it. Definitely flirty vibes. You pick the right females, and it's just like, yeah, it works like a charm. But I would have to say, yeah, it's some good moments there in terms of that. And I feel like Straight Boys is another one. I wasn't too big a fan of this song, just because if you're not around females, Straight Boys is kind of a pointless song to listen to for a straight man. If you're a gay man or a female, Straight Boys is a little bit easier song to listen to, but I can't see too many instances where I would listen to Straight Boys just of my own volition. but that's kind of the situation. And then Plastic Surgery Slumber Party, the remix, that one reminded me of like a pre-version of like the song Low by Flo Rida and T-Pain. Definitely had a similar, it gave me a lot of vibes to that song. It was a little bit longer than the Plastic Surgery Slumber Party song, but I think I like the title track, the regular version, better. That just had the better beat on there. I mean, that one, like the title track, the normal version felt more of like a rave track and just a crunchier and kind of more electronic kind of feel, but that one felt more of like a just standard club song. The Migs Restricted remix or Restitch remix. So that's kind of the concept there. That's the project. Definitely could have used a few more. I like what I got. The Jeffree Star EPs. I mean, I think the other one I reviewed, the Cupcakes Taste Like Violence, had 5 songs too, and then like an additional song. But it definitely 5 songs is kind of like, you almost want like another 1, 2, or 3 songs from Jeffree Star. And I definitely would have liked for this to have been available on CD because I would purchase this. I would definitely feel like it's just got nice vibes. I don't know how you're supposed to find this project. I don't know where it is and how you're supposed to get it, but yeah, I definitely feel like these little Jeffree Star EPs were definitely like nice appetizers and especially killer kind of demonstrations of like electronic music that you definitely need to be partial to. I would definitely have to say. So I'm going to give this album a 7 out of 10 just because it had the good moments on there. I described as to why I wasn't the particular vibes I didn't like. I just feel like it's definitely stellar electronic, has the nice originality, had some pretty raunchiness on here that was unashamed and kind of uncensored and unfiltered if you're a fan of things being uncensored and unfiltered, which most people should, and I definitely am. So just look after it within that context, just to kind of say it's just free based and free roaming. So that's kind of the concept there. And the social score, I can't really score it just because it didn't have singles. And this was Jeffree Star back when he was just kind of a social media influencer in a light sense. Didn't really have, it might have been celebrity, but just a very, probably like an H-list celebrity, something like that, that Jeffree Star was. Not an A-list, not a B-list, like an H-list celebrity at that time. So it was good enough, had its standard appeal. But just to kind of say that that's kind of the relative concept is that it served its purpose. And in terms of the future, I would have to say, like, Jeffree Star initially was going to drop a second album, and I wonder how far he got with it, but it just never came out, and he abandoned music, and he's on YouTube now. I mean, you can find the guy on YouTube, see what he's up to. It's mostly just makeup projects. I don't know if he does, like, any singing interludes or something, but it would be nice to get another Jeffree Star project, even if it was like a 4, 5, or 6 song EP. So that'd be good. Maybe folks should go comment in Jeffree Star's comments and try to get this guy back in music because it's some good stuff.